the Sony 24-70 f4 lens. The premise of the show is I've been on the production team at the Chive for about 4 years now, and we use video gear daily. So I try and recommend and do reviews of the different gear that we have here at the studio. This is the lens that first came with our Sony a7S series cameras, the Sony 24-70 f4 lens. How often do we actually use this lens compared to all the other lenses that we have here? When we're in a controlled environment, I try to use prime lenses. This one is a zoom lens. In terms of video, when we go and we do run and gun shoots, I'm probably gonna have this lens on the camera, only because you have that capability to go wide to 24 and then you can punch into 70 when you need it. I think there's only 2 drawbacks with this lens that you can probably point out on paper as well. The first one is that it only stops down to f4. The other G series lenses that I haven't tested before are the f2.8. I know that's a bigger lens, so this trumps that lens in terms of size, but you're not gonna get that speed. The other thing is the optical image stabilization. This lens doesn't have stabilization built in. The newer cameras have great stabilization on them, or better than the original A7S. A lot of the situations where I have to do run and gun shooting, this is going to be the lens that's on this camera. The f4 thing is only gonna affect you when you want to get that shallow depth of field. In terms of light, if you're using something like a Sony camera nowadays, the low light performance is just gonna be amazing, hands down, anywhere. At nighttime, you could make it look like day by just adding ISO. So if you're worried about having a fast lens for that on a Sony camera, I don't really think you should be worrying about the f4 on this, because the low light performance is just gonna supersede any of that. If you wanted that shallow depth of field of 2.8, that's where it just doesn't have that. But say you just had to follow somebody around and film them all day. Unless you had a lens that had image stabilization on it, it will give you the images that you are seeking, no problem. Like, if you can't get what you need from this lens while you're running and gunning, then it's either one of those things where you're just too far away from the subject, or it gets wide enough. The 24 is definitely wide enough. Like, maybe if you're not, like, if you're trying to vlog like this, I don't know. I would say most of the stuff that we're shooting, if it's locked off on a tripod, I try and go for a prime lens. But if I have to carry around the camera and get things in the moment, then I'm just gonna put this lens on, and it's probably gonna be the only thing that's there. I might carry my 55 as well, just so I can get that low depth of field when it calls for it, and I have time to switch lenses and just get that like nice slow-mo. But the 24-70 is a definite winner. Like, you will not be dissatisfied with it. It will definitely pull its weight. And if that's the only thing that you're looking for, then for sure go for it. Just know that it only goes to f4, and I wouldn't worry about the low light capabilities depending on your Sony camera. Looking at the price, $898. And if you had to just buy one lens and stick with that lens while you built up your business or anything for a little bit, this would be the lens. Like, this is a great lens for under $1,000 for sure. I would think it would definitely get its use. I would also say that as you build up your lens selection, you might not gravitate more towards this lens as you grow. Say you got like the 55, and then say you got a wide prime like the Rokonin 14 millimeter, and then you got something on the long end. If you went the prime route, you would start reaching for this lens less. So if you're shooting material that's run and gun, for sure, I would invest in either this or maybe the 24-105. I haven't used it yet, but for $890, I would say that this is a great bet. So would I recommend it? Yes, if you have the money for it. It's so sturdy in how it's built, and we haven't had any problems with it so far, and we've been using it for like 5 years now. So yeah, Sony 24-70. Would Javier recommend it? Yes. Are you looking to buy this lens, or what other lenses are you looking to compare with the 24-70? I like video tech things, so if you're into that kind of stuff, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Live a life of abundance, and I will see you guys on the next one.